Hi friends, I'm Steve the Bass Guy, and today I'm checking out with you with some mini lessons for Bass Musician Magazine. Today what we're going to do is we're going to start at the beginning. One of the things I love to cover with my students is making sure that your hands are stretched and ready to play. So that's the first thing we're going to cover, is getting our hands ready and warmed up. So you want to do this before you start any practice routine or gig. So what we're going to do right away is we're not going to need the bass at first. We're going to remove our bass. And what we're going to do is we're going to go and take our hands together, and we're going to just kind of make like the praying hands, bring it in so we feel that stretch right here on our wrists. I like to do that. Just hold it for a couple seconds, and you'll feel it in here inside the forearm and right along the elbow. And I like to bring that back, hold it, bring it up, push down. I do those for a couple seconds, maybe like a minute or two, and then I like to do this stretch, which is one that I learned a long time ago and is really good if you are recovering from an injury, or if you just want to warm up your fingers and make sure that they're ready to play so that you're not fumbling through your initial gig, your initial song, so your fingers feel like they're warm and ready to go. What I like to do is I'll take my left hand first, and I'll extend it straight out, and I bring my other hand, my right hand, and I place this hand, these fingers in the palm of that hand. And what I want to do is I want to push forward so that I feel the stretch along the forearm right here and into the elbow. I'm going to push and I'm going to hold. And I bring the thumb in, I hold, I bring it out, hold, bring it back in. And I'm going to hold this for maybe like 30-40 seconds. Let that kind of stretch. Remember to keeping the elbow straight. If I bend the elbow, I don't get the same result. And I'm not bending the fingers. I'm just pushing the palm of my hand past my other hand. So I'm pushing it through. Once I have that stretch released, I grab the fingertips from the top. And I'm going to push my wrist forward that way. I'm going to hold it again. I like to hold that for a few seconds, keeping the elbow still straight. I'm going to release, and I'm going to go back to the original stretch, keeping the thumb inside and pushing again. I hold one last final time, and then I like to shake it out. I do this with all of my students when we're starting. Whenever we begin a lesson, I like to make sure that their hands are warmed up, because you don't know where somebody's coming from. They might be out in the cold. They might not have played all day. So it is a really great way to kind of warm your hands up, get them bent, get them stretched. It'll feel like the blood flow is in your fingers then, versus the cold fingers that don't feel like they want to do anything. So hold, bring it back again, release, shake it out. So before we do any lesson, and there's going to be a group of these lessons, about 10, I recommend going to this lesson first to warm up before you jump into any of the other sessions. So what we want to do here is we're going to grab our bass now, and we're going to do what I always refer to as the vomit exercise, or finger permutations. These are exercises that you can modify on your own, but we want to start simple. Whenever I do a finger permutation exercise, I like to start on the B, and my concept is I want to work down to the lowest note. So I want my fingers to start higher up on the B, and I'm going to do almost a chromatic finger, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go from the B, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I want to do is I want to make sure my fingers are spread out. So I'm right behind each fret. That way I'm spreading my fingers out. My thumb on the back of the neck is placed right against that stripe so that I have a good reach. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go to the next string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I recommend doing this with a metronome once you're comfortable. The metronome will let you kind of play up, release, and come back down. It's excellent. So if you are keeping time, keep it slow. So on the way back down, so we just did up those 4, we're going to reverse the pattern. We're going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. We move down a half step and start the pattern over again. 1, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Half step down again. Start the exercise again. Each time we go through the pattern, you want to slowly move down, keeping your tempo the same all the way through. I'm going to give you about 6 different permutations written out in the notes that go along with this lesson, and I want you to try each one. So the second one I would give you would be the variation of the last one we did. So we still place our first finger on the B, which is that third dot, and what I'm going to do is instead of starting on my first finger, I'm going to do the pattern like this. I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And I would reverse that. 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2. Take your time on this. Go slowly. Make sure it's articulate. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go get a bunch of dead notes or buzz notes. If you get a note that's buzzing, it's possible that your finger is between the frets. So you don't want to play between. You want to try to almost play with your finger on the fret. Like that. That's going to be where you're going to get your best tone from. So making sure as you move down, or I say modulate down, you want to make sure that you're right behind that fret. All these exercises in this case are going to move down till we reach the last fret, which is going to be F, and you're going to play across the neck and back. This is what we always refer to in college as the vomit exercises, because you want to play until you want to vomit, then you do them some more just to make sure that your fingers are wiggling. Now, there's 2 other exercises I like to do in here. One of them is just a pattern exercise that's playing, it's a string crossing exercise. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll start on, let's say A this time. So we're going to start on the second dot. And what I like to do is I like to play across the string, so it's a string skipping exercise. And I make an X with my fingers. So I'm going 1 on the E, 2 on the A, 3 on the D, 4 on the G. Then I'm reversing, and I'm going 1 on the G, 2 on the D, 3 on the A, 4 on the E. So by doing that pattern, what this allows me to do is it gives me a good stretch in my hand as I move across, because I want to have that pattern flow back and forth. And I always just refer to that as the X pattern. And you can do that in a couple different locations. And you just kind of want to make sure that your hands are kind of spread open so that you can reach across, hit those notes, 1 finger per fret. Getting a good clean tone on each one. And you can practice that as a part of your warm-up exercise. So I would do each of these as part of your warm-ups. It's a nice way to get your hand warmed up and ready to play. So I would do this lesson before you jump into any of the others. So always going back and doing a warm-up and some variation of those warm-ups. Now there is another exercise I like to add in too, which is called the spider exercise. The spider exercise, I like to go the opposite way. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to play intervals again, but it's across 2 strings this time, much like the X exercise. What we're going to do is we're going to do intervals of fifths. So we're going to go 1, 3, 2, 4. That's across the D and the G string. And then we're going to go back and we're going to go 4, 3. Sorry, my bad. 4, 2. And then 3, 1. So these are, on the way up, we're doing intervals of fifths. And on the way back, we're doing intervals of minor thirds. So we recognize those sounds. Now, the idea is, in this case, it's a warm-up to get the fingers wiggling, not really worried about theory. But an interval of a fifth is the fifth note of the scale from the root being whatever the first note is played there. I'm calling this the fifth from that one. And then on the way back, whatever my root is to the minor third, that distance. This is a good exercise just to kind of get your fingers wrapped around. I would start this one. This is a 2-string exercise. And what I would do is with this one, start on, again, I would start on the D and the G string. And what we're going to do is on that second dot, which is going to be G on the D, or just call it the second dot, we're going to go 1, 3, 2, 4. And then what's going to happen is 1 is on the D, 3 is on the G, 2 is on the D, 4 is on the G. And then we reverse that. 4 is on the D, 2 is on the G, 3 is on the D, 1 is on the G. And you want to practice that exercise slowly. And then we can move it down a string. So it'd be on the A and the D. 3, 2, 4, 4, 2, 3, 1, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 4, 2, 3, 1. And then down to the E. 1, 3, 2, 4, 4, 2, 3, 1. And I would start slowly, practice that just up and down the A across that the second dot, or we'll say the 5th fret. You want to practice that up and down until it gets comfortable under your fingers. And I would say let's start there as a warm-up. Thanks again for hanging out. I'm Steve Rosati with Bass Musician Magazine. There's going to be more lessons like this coming your way. And if you're interested in studying with me, if you choose to, you can reach me at stevethebassguy@yahoo.com. Thanks again for tuning in. Much love, peace, love, and low notes. Be well.